that I didn't know back then to be true, but I know to be true now. Man. I don't know. I feel like life is more about just realizing things that you knew already. That's pretty much been how bad life been. So I don't know. I don't know something that I thought was false and now it's true. I don't know. If I think of anything, I'll come back to it.
Okay. So
I'll come back to the Facebook thing. There are a lot of what do you call it? Censoring of like posts and stuff that kind of pointed out evidence that were pointing towards like evidence that of the possibility that the virus could have like escaped from a lab. Not that it was maliciously made to do what it's doing now, but simply that it probably came from a lab and it was probably genetically engineered in some way.
I believe that. I mean, did you see that TED Talks with Bill Gates where he was talking about like a flu pandemic going to happen?
Generally, people tend to answer like that doubt with saying that these things are studied and they can kind of predict.
No, not that. Like literally, there was a TED Talk on like, and Bill Gates just said that in the future, we're
like. I saw the talk, and he's not the only individual that had been sharing like that view a long time. Even Dr. Fauci himself, there's a congressional hearing that he took part in some years ago, in which he himself said also that there would be a pandemic to come. And I don't undermine the science behind like those predictions. There is a science behind those predictions. So I'm not going to say like, my evidences aren't really based on those, and the articles that I talk about aren't really based on those, but they're actually based on scientific stuff, like the protein structure of the virus and the things that the virus have in common with both of the coronaviruses that we've known in the past, like the MERS and the SARS.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just like every year it was always something. Before coronavirus, it was Ebola. Before Ebola, it was bird flu. Before bird flu, it was swine flu. Like we always had something.
Yeah.
And like, how do you like for people like afraid to go out, like like all this like stir, like my cousin's a nurse right now. And he told me like he's in contact with a lot of the other nurses like in the city, and they just out of curiosity they just wanted to know like what the numbers were like, and he said it was completely off, like media like on like the deaths and like who contracted the virus, like it was just like really off.
Yeah, so during this thing I witnessed a lot of that, a lot of like kind of like a lot of rhetoric, a lot of like misinformation or bias statistics. Like just seeing all of that kind of is what kind of take me off into looking deeper into things. Why are these people like tweaking numbers? Like why are they,
ratings, bro, ratings. This is all done for their like they want more ratings.
That's what I thought, but I've come to think that that's not it. I've come to more believe that it has to do with funding. Like I believe that these media companies are funded by different groups of
ideologies. Okay.
Who have different agendas, and I believe that they push articles that are in favor of certain narrative based on these fundings.
Yeah, that I agree. I mean that makes sense. It makes complete sense, and like that's how can you get what's the best way to like push your ideology out is through the news, right?
Exactly.
So, what do you say are some limiting beliefs holding you back from living your dream life?
Man, I would say that it's not really beliefs that might be holding me back from living my dream life. More like I don't know, fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Okay.
Not things that I know, but things that I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure of, the doubt, the uncertainty.
Okay, so then what would be some distractions you realized that were hindering your productivity?
I don't know. Most of the things that hinder my productivity are like responsibilities. So they're usually things that I can't really get rid of because, like I said, they're responsibilities. They're things that you have to do.
Uh-huh. So, like, how do you, like, just, like, become more, like, cognizant and, like, better, like, time utilization?
Again, like, that all goes back to, like, priorities. You gotta...
I just feel like people don't, like, it's really important to, like, schedule your week and your day, like, even to the hour. Like, even if it doesn't go accordingly to that plan, but just having that outline just gets you, has you, like, gives you more structure.
Yeah, I think it helps.
So right now, who is someone you look up to, like, whether it be, spiritually, intellectually, maybe fitness wise?
Man, that's a lot.
Like, it could be any of those. It doesn't have to be all, just be one.
I don't know. I look up to a lot of different people for different things. Like, when it comes to, like, I don't know, maybe persistence, like, when it comes to, I don't know, like, physical stuff or, like, working out and stuff, I'd probably say my wife. Because she's been in a routine, like a workout routine for, like, the past 2 years, like, consistently. So, like, that's very impressive, like, for me, seeing it, like, being able to see her doing it, like, every day or whatnot.
And being consistent.
Yeah, and being consistent in it, that's definitely inspirational when it comes to that. When it comes to, I don't know, like, studying and seeking knowledge and stuff like that, or, like, intellectual endeavors, I have, of course, my teachers, they're always at the forefront, but even besides them, I have colleagues that I really admire, their dedication to, seeking knowledge and things.
So, what's something that no one else knows about you?
One thing that no one else knows about me?
Yeah, like, just something...
I can't risk that, because now you're going to know it.
Like, for me, I would say, like, a lot of things that people don't know about me is, like, my passion to cook.
Okay, I don't know, I guess something trivial like that.
What's your biggest passion?
Learning, man. Learning.
Alright. That's, okay. So then, what's something you would want to tell if some advice you would want to tell like, if you could give any 3 things, hold on, let me figure out how to ask this question properly. If you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
If I could give any advice to my younger self, what would it be? You're on the right track. Just keep going.
I mean, there isn't anything, like, so one thing I noticed is, like, if you look at any young person, like, the one thing you ask them, like, hey, what do you want? They always say, I want to be older. I want to grow older. I want to grow older. But then if you talk to any old person, like, what's one thing you want? They'll be like, I want to be a kid again.
Yeah, I'm generally, I don't know, I'm generally satisfied or pleased with how, like, things have kind of, like, themselves out, like, in my life.
Okay, so then what are some activities that set your soul on fire?
That set my soul on fire, like, in what way?
Like they like, just drives your passion, like, what are things that just make you, like, makes, like, drives your soul, like, like, you're passionate about?
Man, learning again, man. Sometimes, like, when I figure something out or I learn something, like, I can't express to you, like, the feeling, that feeling.
But like, you go, like, more deeper, like, what is, like, like, learning what? Like,
just learning about the world around me, like, any type of useful or, like, deep insight, into not just myself, but into the world around me,
So what are you most grateful for?
What I'm most grateful for?
Yeah.
the continuous opportunities that that we get every day when we wake up. Literally every second, not even when you wake up. Every second, every breath that you take is a new opportunity to do something. Whether it's to change something about your life or to keep going. It's just every breath you take is an opportunity to learn something, to experience life.
Okay. So, is it something you dreamed of doing for a long time, and you still haven't done it yet? But like you want to now, you want to start taking those, like the time to do that.
Teaching.
All right. So teaching what?
Teaching is my as far as career, like as far as a job or like something to do. Teaching is my ultimate passion.
Okay. Do you think language affects how we see the world?
To a certain extent, I think. I think in the beginning, yes. Or actually, maybe, I don't know. I guess at any point in your life, it does to a certain extent, yeah.
Okay. So, what world culture is like most fascinating to you?
Man, they're all fascinating, bro.
If you had to pick one, like
I don't know. That's hard, bro. Like, I know my own culture that I was born into, and I know the dynamics of it. I know a little bit about the Arabic culture. I know some about the American culture. They're all fascinating to me, man. They're all fascinating.
So, do you think that the way we dress affects the way we think?
No, I think the way we think affects the way we dress. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But like, I'm thinking like, say you dress up, you dress good, feel good, look good, feel good type thing.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that depends on your conception of what it is first to look good. Like if you have let's say you have a perception that if I'll give you an example. Okay, let's say you think that wearing a thobe is good and it makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I think the opposite. I think wearing a thobe is bad or makes me feel bad. Like, I can wear that same thobe, but I'll have a different experience. But if you wear it, you'll have a different experience. But it all goes back to like what we think and what we believe, not necessarily the clothes itself.
Okay. So do you think that people are afraid to be their true selves around other people?
Yeah, of course. I think that's a fact.
I mean, like what?
To a certain degree, except maybe people that have a very high level of spiritual training.
It's like, it's kind of crazy to think, right? Like, even like with this, like how like we're like transitioning into all like this internet, like the internet's becoming everything. Like, how somebody could just tell somebody something on the internet and that like destroy them, like and like ruin their mentality.
Yeah.
But they don't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah,
I think we're created to be like that. There are benefits to that. Like it's important that we care what people think. It has its place and it has its time. But unfortunately, like many other things, we don't really know when. When to use certain emotions or when to use certain and when not to. But if we lived in a world in which people didn't really care about what people think, I think a lot of people would get hurt. You agree?
Yeah. So if you had to sum up human nature in 3 words, what would you choose?
Vulnerable. Man, you said words too, not even phrases. That's hard. Vulnerable is definitely one. I don't know. If I say weak, I don't